Iti Girivaraputri Padarajiva Bhusha Bhuvana Mamalayanti Sukti Saurabhya Saraihi Shiva Pada Makaranda Syandaniyam Nibaddha Madayatu Kavi Bhrangan Matruka Pushpamala. The last verse of Mantra Matruka Pushpamala Stavam. So in this, what is Bhagavan Adi Shankara saying? At the end of it, I'm offering these 16 verses. 17th verse is not really a verse. It is his way of saying the 16 verses above are the Mantra Matrika Pushpamala, because it is, as I said, Shodashi, 16. First 15 is the Panchadasakshari, and the last one is Shreem, which is Shodashi. So he's saying these 16 verses, which is the Mantra Matrika Pushpamala, that I am offering to you, O Mother. And when I offer it to your feet, this fragrance, it spreads everywhere. Saurabhya Saraihi. Sukti Saurabhya Saraihi. So this beautiful fragrance, Bhuvanam Amalayanti, it spreads everywhere in the Bhuvanam. When I present it at your feet, Girivara Putri Padarajiva Bhusha, I offer this as an ornament to your feet. Padarajiva Bhusha. And then the spread of this, the fragrance of this spreads across the world, because now I offered it. So the important thing of any prayer, any shloka, any mantra, any japa, any dhyana, anything that we do, which is why we at the end finish off with Kayena vacha manasi indriyarva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat. The reason we say this is, even this that I am doing for my own salvation, my emancipation, my growth, my spiritual development, my liberation, that also I am offering it at your feet. This is a very important attitude, because then attitude of then demanding will not come. Otherwise it will be that I have done, you have not done for me. This transaction thing will start generating in the mind, which is why we should always end any activity, be it generally any activity that we do in the world, more so if we do any spiritual sadhana. When we get up, one thing is usually, but the practice that I follow is touch the floor. Wherever you're sitting, touch the floor, because the Bhuma Devi there has allowed you to sit there for that period of time quietly, silently, and observe meditation, observe dhyana, japa, whatever you're doing. So to get up first, thanking her, touch the floor, thank her. And then also in the mind, think that I'm thankful that I got this time to do this sadhana. Whatever it could be, japa sadhana, dhyana sadhana, whatever. Even nama sankirtanam you've been sitting. Generally, it is a good idea whenever you're getting up from the floor, it is good idea to touch the floor. And also before you're sitting, it's a good idea when you're sitting down. Whenever we have the opportunity to sit down, I see it's nice. Sri Vidya ji always sits on the floor there. She keeps the couch as the background. She sits on the floor. So you get the opportunity to sit on the floor, touch the floor in a way of gratitude. And when you get up, do that. In the same way, extend it, whichever thing that we are doing, extend it to the Devata, the deity that you have invoked. Through that process, thank them. He is doing the same thing. He is saying, I have written 16 verses of you on the Panchadasakshari and the Shodashi. Now I'm offering it to you only. Oh Mother, I'm offering it to you. Now may the fragrance of this spread around the world, because now it has touched your feet. And then he goes on to say, Shiva Pada Makaranda Syandaniyam Nibaddha. So he's saying Shiva Pada Makaranda. How does one achieve to Shiva Pada? The nectar of Shiva Pada. Makarandam is nectar, Nibaddha. It is not easy to access Shiva Pada, the nectar of Shiva Pada directly, but it can be accessed through you. So this fragrance that spreads because something has touched your feet, that is as though the nectar that is coming, which is dripping because of one attaining to Shiva Pada. It is the same effect, because one cannot, it's like saying I like for example, if you cannot have a mango, so the closest thing is you have a sweet sugary syrup, and then you say this is like mango. So he's saying, well, it is not a great example because you don't have the right example you don't have the right example to explain this idea. What she's saying is this is equivalent to that. It's Adi Shankara is saying placing at your feet and getting the blessings of your feet is equivalent to getting the bliss of Shiva Pada. And he says, Madayatu Kavi Bhrangan Matruka Pushpamala. So this um, this garland. So what am I presenting? This mantra Matruka Pushpamala as a garland is what I'm presenting to you at your feet. And this is like a garland that I'm placing at your feet. So think of it like as a mala of 16 flowers, and then that has become a mala, and then that mala is placed at Devi's feet. Those who have the habit of doing the poo todukardu chulwala to tie flowers, you have that habit. It's also a beautiful way of doing this. So what you can do, you take 16 flowers, you make a mala of 16 flowers, and each mala when you're putting it, you chant one verse. And then at the end of it, you'll have a mala of 16 flowers, and then you can offer it to Devi's feet or put it around her neck, whatever. Right? So that is also something that we can do. And this is a habit. So if there is this habit, households, some ladies in the household have this habit of sewing the flowers together to make this garland. So this is an idea, right? But what Bhagavan Adi Shankara is saying is, I am, O mother, offering this to your feet so that the fragrance of this spreads across everywhere, and may everybody receive this. For what? For what? That was mentioned in the previous shloka. Previous shloka, he says, Girisutam yaf puja yas chetasa sandhyasu prativasaram sunniyatas tasyamalam syan manah chittam bhoruha mandape girisuta नृत्यं विधत्ते रसात् वाणी वक्त्र सरोरुहे जलधिजा गेहे जगन मंगला. So that you receive the blessings of all the three: Lakshmi, Parvati, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati. All the three. Only when you receive that, then you can consider going towards beyond that. These three Devis in themselves can offer you liberation. And when we say liberation, and when we are praying to a Devi, nothing today, for example, Panguni Uttaram is the birth of Mahalakshmi from the churning of the Milky Ocean, right? Sagar Manthana, Mahalakshmi came out of this thing, the churning of the ocean. Now, what does she represent? She represents auspiciousness, prosperity, Shrihi, Mangalam, all of that. She can offer you all of that. And the same Devi, same Lakshmi, can also offer you Iha Saukyam and Iha Mutra. So, this Saukyam here and also liberation from here.
Iha para Saukyam.
Iha para Saukyam. Correct. Iha Saukyam, para Saukyam. Both. So, this one, so when we are approaching any form of Devi or Muruga or anybody, when we are approaching, remember that they are the ones who are also the doorway to the ultimate. Like in Ishavasya Upanishad, look at the Surya Bhagavan. Ishavasya Upanishad tells this. Hiranmayena patrena. Hiranmayena patrena. syapi hitam mukham hiranmayena patrena. So I'll tell you the meaning. The meaning is you remove this patra, this disc. When I'm seeing the Surya Bhagavan, it's appearing like a disc. Um, remove this disc and show me the truth. Satyam syapi hitam mukham. Satyam syapi hitam mukham. So show me the real face, the truth of who you are. Remove this disc that I'm seeing. So, in the same way, when we go to any of these deities, we should not get stuck with them. The greatest guru is the one who is able to release the disciple from himself. The guru who holds the disciple to himself is not a great guru. Because attachment is very funny. It can come in any form, any way, with anybody. Like in Bhagavatam, Jada Bharata, the Bharata king had attachment to a fawn, deer's baby. And because of that, he had to waste 2 janmas. So attachment can come in any form. So we have to understand, even the deity, Devata, Devi, whoever we are, should pour out our devotion, love. It's definitely great to be attached to that than be attached to the material pleasures, than be attached to your people, your relatives, my child, my husband, my daughter, my father, my mother, my husband. Being attached to anybody in that sense is only going to cause us suffering and pain at some point in time without our knowing. With our knowing also, a lot of times we are so helpless that that attachment, we don't even know how to come out of that that attachment. We will say that I am attached, I know I am attached, I know it is painful, I don't know how to come out of this. It can become such a difficult situation. So what we learn in sadhana is we are placing an attachment to the Ishta Devata, to a greater possibility, so that this attachment reduces. Reduces means it's not you're becoming indifferent, you're involved, but you're not attached. Very important. Two different things we need to be clear of. One is being attached, which causes suffering. One is being involved, you're aware. Involvement, there is awareness. Attachment, you lose awareness. Two different words, seemingly very similar, but these are reminders. These are reminders for ourselves. You can be involved, but not attached. When you're attached, which is why people say that, oh, what do I do with my child? Shouldn't I be attached to my child and give love and all that? Give love, be involved. Being attached is a problem, because the moment you and the other gives you suffering, understand you're attached. If somebody can cause you suffering, means you're attached. Either you're attached to that person or you want to detach from that person. So you're attached to wanting to detach. Suffering. So we move our attachment to something higher, but again, that also we slowly move beyond that. We try to see the truth, because that is just a form, that is just a name. We use that as a tool, but we go beyond. Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, important. Mahalakshmi, who's come out today, is important. For what? To liberate us from Mahalakshmi herself. If Devi holds you, then you will never get Shiva Tattva. The Shiva Pada will never be experienced, because she will hold you here. That is why she is called Lalita Tripura Sundari. She is the playful one. She will hold you here. So the 15 that you see are actually the loka. The 15 of the Panchadasakshari, you will get absolute, you will get the highest in everything that you want. 16th is the one that is transcendence. You have to transcend. With the 15, even Devi herself will come in front of you. Like Vidyaranya Muni, we should be able to say, I don't want this. I'm great, I'm grateful, I'm glad, but this is not, this vision that you're giving is not permanent. Vidyaranya Muni, after several years of tapasya with Gayatri Devi, he wanted wealth. And then when he gave up, he tonsured his head, he gave up everything and he said, no more, I'm not going to go pray for Gayatri Devi for anything. He turns around, comes out of this thing, takes sannyas. Then Gayatri Devi is standing there. Yes, child, what do you want now? Vidyaranya Muni says, why are you here now? I've given up everything. I've taken sannyas. I don't want anything. Then she says, now I'll give you. And she gives him all wealth and all of that, with which he sets up the whole Krishna, the Vijayanagara Empire. So this is the beauty of, and this is what, when you get up, when you pray also, you give up. Kayena vacha manasendriyeva. With every action you give up. Giving up is not one fine day. Okay, maybe 20, 34, I will give up. Till then I will continue to hold. It will never happen like that. If giving up is not an attitude that we develop now, it will not come in the future. It's an attitude that we develop now. Slowly, 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 slowly. In whatever we do, you try the act of giving up, letting go, giving up. Easy to say, but it is something that has to be practiced. Because if you think that it is so easy to say, it is so difficult to practice, then think when you are much older, when you're about to die, it's even more difficult. Atma will not leave the body. Even more difficult. So do you want to do the difficult, most difficult thing, start doing it now, or you want to push it till the end when it becomes really very difficult? That is the question. And a lot of people also die just because their body breaks. You leave the body, but you're still attached. The Sukshma Sarira still keeps moving around. There is no real liberation. And these things don't happen in a day. And it is not for the future. Because the future, remember, Jiddu Krishnamurti says this, the future is now. He says this, very, very profound line. Your future is not going to be any different if you don't do anything different today. If you're doing what you're doing now, the future is going to be the same. If you want the future to be different, actions today have to be in alignment with that which you're wanting. So if you're looking parasaukyam, then our movement. So when we go, we give a garland to Devi, we do all of this and we say, Mother, you are the one who are my solace, my relief, everything. You help me go beyond you also. Shiva Pada Makarandam, the nectar of Shiva Pada. And that is the nectar Mahalakshmi carries. See, what does Mahalakshmi bring? Panguni Uttaram. Raghu, what does Mahalakshmi bring? She brings Amrita.
Amrita,
Brings
no.
Amrita. Who brings Amrita?
Dhanvantari.
Amrita Kalasham.
Ah,
What does Mahalakshmi bring?
ah,
Waste. Waste. No wonder. She comes out to marry Perumal. She's basically looking for a husband. She comes out. So she brings. So there are stories. In some stories, yes, Dhanvantari brings Amrita. Some stories, Mahalakshmi also brings nectar. Mahalakshmi brings nectar. It's either auspiciousness, wealth. So she brings nectar in the form of what? So this is the important thing. To you, Mahalakshmi is the doorway to what? To the nectar. And that nectar doesn't have a form. That nectar doesn't have a shape, doesn't have a name. That is why Amrita, the name Amrita, it doesn't have its own name. Amrita is Mrita's opposite. That which is not, which it, how do you describe something that doesn't have a shape, name, form? It is beyond Nama Rupa. So this is the idea of this particular verse when he's closing. Bhagavan Adi Shankara closing says, Iti Girivaraputri Pada Rajiva Bhusha Bhuvana Mamalayanti Sukti Saurabhya Saraihi Shivapadam Makaranda Niyam Nibaddha Madayatu Kavibhrangan Matruka Pushpamala Shrimad Shankara Bhagavad Pada Virachita Mantra Pushpamala Mantra Matruka Pushpamala Stava Sampurna.
I think in this context, she brings Lakshya.
Lakshya.
Lakshmi brings in this Kshira Sagara Madana when she comes up.
The Lakshya, the goal.
The Lakshya of the churning is get the Amrita.
Amrita. So
Yeah.
she brings that.
So Subha Lakshana Lakshitayai Namaha. So,
Hmm.
so this one is the
It
Lakshana
brings the
Lakshita.
intent. What should be your intention? It should be the Amrita.
Yeah, the goal,
Hmm.
Lakshya.
Yeah.
So I think in this context, she brings the Lakshya
Hmm.
where these demon, I mean, the Devata, Asura, Asuras are churning, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
first the halahalam comes and then they get demotivated and then ran to Shiva and then Shiva took the halahala. Then Lakshmi started evolving.
Hmm.
So that the symbolic,
What should be the goal? So she brings
yeah, she reminds and then makes everyone focus on the goal.
on the Amrita.
Yeah, then the other things will come,
Very
right?
nice.
I think before that the Airavatam will come,
Correct.
Ucheshwaram
Correct.
will come, then Lakshmi will come, and then Moon also will come
Yeah.
after Lakshmi. So the treasure started coming where I mean Sura Asura start focusing on the Lakshya.
Correct.
I think here Lakshmi there is one of the uh, Lakshmi Hrudayam something I remember reading. Lakshmi Subha Lakshana Lakshitaya, something like that. So
Very nice. Yeah.
I
So
think
she
here,
brings the goal. So because there are a lot of other material treasures that are coming out, you don't
right.
want them to get distracted and swayed.
Yeah,
She comes and reminds that this is your Lakshya. Now, which is the Lakshya? Like you're saying, Amrita, which is
Amrita.
going
Yeah,
beyond Devi. You're going beyond all Suras and Asuras. You're going beyond even,
yeah,
everything that is coming out, you're going beyond that to get to what? Amrita. To get to that
mm,
state of immortality, state of liberation, state of moksha.
yeah.
Essentially, she is the one who is establishing the moksha purushartha.
Uh, Subha Lakshyartha Siddhi here. Maybe we can say
Hmm.
Lakshyartha Siddhi.
Mokshartha siddhi. So, moksha purushartha, she establishes moksha purushartha. Okay, so that is the beautiful mantra matrika pushpamala stavam. And if you see in the YouTube video, I've tried to put a few words just to bring the context of that particular verse, so that when we are listening and chanting, we bring our minds to that. So in terms of the whole processes of the Shodashopachara, so once I complete, we'll then look at the Shodashopachara. But the way is we are offering all of these to Devi mentally. So the whole process is mental. And in this process, you're offering all of these different things. You're invoking her, bathing her, giving her fragrance, deepam, dupam, naivedyam, arati, all of that you're doing. And you're giving her food, then tambulam, and then also entertainment. Saraswati is playing veena, there are celestials who are dancing, all of these are happening. You're giving her entertainment. And then we are praying to her. So you're making her happy, and then you're praying to her that may Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, all the three pour their grace upon me. And then I say at the end of it, after that, I want liberation. I want moksha. That's my final. That is what I'm looking for. Right? So I also give up the desire for any of these things because these are means to an end. And we keep that lakshya. Like Raghu said, lakshya we maintain. Very important. I think it's very beautiful. Today is Panguniyatram. I think we need to make sure that we re-establish that lakshya in our mind. Like this morning, I sent the message. It is about bringing ourselves into that state of samadhi, samadhihi. Samadhi is not a fantastic state, right? When we hear the word samadhi, you think, oh, it is for some Muni, Rishi, some saint and sages and sannyasis. No. Samadhi is bring your mind to a state of balance first. Bring your mind to a state of balance, then there is joy that comes. And that joy is celebration. That is a celebration. When you go to the temple, whether you're going to the Ayyappa Jayanti today or the Muruga Devyani celebrations or Perumal Tayar celebrations, we should remember this celebration on the outside will be done today by the end of the night. It's all be done. And the next morning is, oh, then we start at the. It's not like that. You're not waking up to a boring morning next day. And it is about that celebration that we should be able to feel inside. Whether you go to a temple, whether you do these celebrations or not, this thing should happen. This is the celebration that we should look forward to. Right? This is that Amrita. This is that Amrita Tattva, and this is the Lakshya that Lakshmi Mahalakshmi is also, and which is why her name is also Mahalakshmi. Right? So she is establishing that Lakshya again and again to remind us to say that it's not about this wealth and prosperity and all of that. Touch that highest auspiciousness, Shivoham. Narayana-yeti samarpayami. I offer everything to that Narayana and then I touch that Shiva Tattva. Astu. So we'll pause here today and we'll pick up possibly next week. We will start Saundarya Lahiri if mother permits. We'll see. I'll drop a message. Most likely we should be able to start next week or resume Saundarya Lahiri. We did 41 verses of Ananda Lahiri. We'll resume. ॐ कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायति समर्पयामि सदाशिवायति समर्पयामि जगदम्बिकेति समर्पयामि सद्गुरुनाथायति समर्पयामि हरि ओं तत्सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः।